The barn stood at the edge of the town, old and quiet, just like the man who owned it. It was a cold night. Rain fell softly on the broken wooden roof, and the wind moved through the empty fields like a whisper. Most people in town were asleep. They did not see the man walking toward the barn with a small lantern in his hand. His name did not matter. He was just a human who lived alone. Every night he came here. The barn was not used for animals anymore. It was old, warm inside, and safe from the rain. Stray cats often came here, hungry and scared. The man never chased them away. He believed that no living thing should be left outside in the cold. He opened the barn door slowly. The old wood made a soft sound. Easy. "It's okay," he said in a calm voice. Small shapes moved in the dark. Cats. Thin, dirty, tired. Their eyes reflected the lantern light. The man placed a bowl of food on the ground and stepped back. He always gave them space. He knew fear. Cats slowly came closer. The man smiled a little. But then he noticed something strange. There were more sounds than usual. Not soft paws. Not small animal breathing. These sounds were different. The man stood still. He listened. From the far corner of the barn, behind broken tools and old boxes, something moved, slowly, carefully, like it was trying not to be seen. Another cat? He whispered. He lifted the lantern higher. The light reached the corner. 2 shapes pulled back into the shadows. The man frowned. They were too tall to be cats, too still, and their eyes, they were not normal. They glowed softly, not like animal eyes, but like light behind glass. The cats froze. Even they felt it. The air felt heavy now. The man did not run. He did not shout. He had lived alone for many years. Fear had become quiet inside him. "It's all right," he said again, slower this time. The shapes did not move. Rain hit the roof harder. Thunder rolled far away. Then a sound broke the silence. A voice, soft, shaking. "Not human, please." The man's heart stopped. The voice continued, weak but clear. "Please, don't send us away." The lantern shook slightly in his hand. 2 figures stepped forward into the light. They were not animals. They were not human. They were small, thin, and clearly afraid. Their skin had a pale blue color, and strange markings covered their arms. Their eyes were large and shining, filled with fear. Their clothes were torn and dirty, like they had been running for a long time. One of them held the other's hand tightly. "Sisters." The man took a slow breath. Aliens. Everything he had heard in stories, in old news, in rumors, was now standing in his barn. The smaller one spoke again. Her voice was weak. "We will be quiet," she said. "We won't take anything. We just need a place to stay. Just for tonight." The older sister stepped in front of her, trying to protect her, even though she looked like she could barely stand. The man said nothing for a long moment. The wind pushed cold air inside the barn. The sisters shivered. The man looked at them. Really? Look. They were not soldiers. They were not monsters. They were scared, lost, alone, just like the cats. Slowly, the man placed the lantern on a crate. "I don't send strays away," he said quietly. The sisters looked at him, unsure if they understood. He moved the food bowl closer to them, not fast, not slow. "You can stay," he said, "but you'll have to trust me." The older sister's eyes filled with something new, hope. She nodded, but far above the clouds, unseen by the man or the sisters, something moved across the night sky. Lights flashed for just a second, and somewhere something was searching. The barn was quiet again, but it did not feel the same. The man closed the door slowly, keeping the cold wind outside. The rain still fell, but inside the barn, there was only soft breathing and silence. The stray cats had moved closer to the walls, watching the 2 strange visitors with wide eyes. The alien sisters stood near the corner. They did not sit. They did not relax. Their bodies were tight, ready to run at any moment. The man noticed this. "You're safe here," he said calmly. "No one comes out this way at night." The older sister tilted her head. She was listening carefully, like every word mattered. "Safe," she repeated, as if the word was new. The younger one looked around the barn. Her eyes followed the wooden beams, the old tools, the dust in the air. It was not beautiful, it was not clean. But it was warm. She whispered something in her own language. The man stepped back and sat on an old chair. He did not want to stand over them. He wanted them to feel equal. "You can sit," he said, "if you want." The older sister slowly lowered herself onto a crate. The younger sister followed, staying close. After a moment, the older one spoke again. "Humans are not kind," she said. Her voice was careful. "That is what we were taught." The man did not react. He waited. "They said humans capture." She continued. "They use fear. They take what they want." The man nodded slowly. "Some do," he said. "Some don't." This answer surprised them. The younger sister looked at him. "Why help us?" she asked. "You gain nothing." The man thought for a moment. "Because you asked," he replied. "And because you were cold." The sisters exchanged a look. They did not understand this kind of logic. The older sister took a deep breath. "Our world is gone," she said. "Burned, broken." The barn felt smaller. "We escaped," she continued. "But others hunt us. They want what is inside us." The man's eyes narrowed slightly. "Inside you?" The younger sister placed her hand on her chest. "We carry knowledge," she said. "Living maps, energy patterns. Our species was used." The man said nothing. Outside, thunder rolled again, closer this time. "They will not stop," the older sister said. "If they find us here, they will destroy this place." The man stood up. "That won't happen tonight," he said. The way he said it made the sisters look up. There was no anger in his voice. No fear, just certainty. He moved to a shelf and took out 2 old blankets. He placed them gently in front of the sisters. "For warmth," he said. The younger sister touched the blanket. Her fingers shook. "No cage?" she asked quietly. The man paused. "No," he said. "No cages." Her eyes filled with tears she tried to hide. Minutes passed. The cat slowly came closer again. One small orange cat walked up to the younger sister and sniffed her hand. She froze. The man smiled. "He only trusts safe people," he said. The cat rubbed against her fingers. For the first time, the younger sister laughed. It was soft, broken, but real. Then the light flickered. All of them froze. The man looked up at the ceiling. Not thunder. A low sound filled the air, deep, mechanical. The sisters stood up fast. "They are close," the older one whispered. "Too close." The man walked to the barn door and turned off the lantern. Darkness covered the room. "Stay quiet," he said. "Stay behind me." Outside, strange lights moved through the clouds. A shadow passed over the land. A scanning beam touched the ground. Near the barn. The man placed his hand on the door. "They think humans are weak," he said softly, not looking back. "They're wrong." The scanning light moved away. For now. But the night was far from over. The night did not feel quiet anymore. Even after the strange light moved away, the air around the barn felt heavy, like something bad was waiting. The man did not turn the lantern back on. Darkness was safer. The alien sister stood close behind him. They barely breathed. Far away, a deep sound echoed across the land. It was slow and steady. Not thunder. Not wind. Footsteps. The older sister closed her eyes. "They found our path," she whispered. "They always do." The man listened carefully. His ears were human, but years of living alone had taught him how to hear danger. The sound came from the trees beyond the field. Metal against dirt. Heavy boots. Hunters. He moved slowly, signaling the sisters to follow him deeper into the barn. He lifted a loose wooden panel near the back wall and revealed a narrow space behind stacked hay and broken tools. "Hide here," he said. No sound. Younger sister hesitated. "What about you?" The man gave a small smile. "I'll be right here." She wanted to argue, but the older sister pulled her inside the space. The man slid the panel back into place, making it look natural. The footsteps stopped outside. Sharp voice cut through the night. Cold, not human. Human structure detected. A bright white light shined through the cracks of the barn walls. The cats hissed and scattered. The barn door shook as something touched it. The man stepped forward. The door opened with force. 3 figures entered. They were tall, covered in dark armor that reflected the scanning lights. Their helmets hid their faces, but their movements were sharp and cruel. Weapons rested easily in their hands, like they had used them many times before. One of them looked around the barn. "Only animals," it said. Another tilted its head. "False. Energy trace detected earlier." The man stood still, hands visible. "Evening," he said calmly. All 3 hunters turned toward him. "A human," one said with interest. "This land belongs to your kind." The man nodded. "It does." "Then you will not interfere," the hunter said. "We search for escaped property." The man felt anger rise inside him at that word. "Property? Only cats here," he replied. "Strays." The lead hunter stepped closer. "You lie." The weapon lifted slightly. The man did not move. "You don't want trouble," the hunter warned. The man met its dark visor. "This is my barn," he said. "And I don't give away things that come here for shelter." The hunters paused. Then one laughed, a harsh, empty sound. "You protect animals?" it said. Pathetic. A scanning beam swept across the barn again, slower this time. It moved closer to the hidden space. The younger sister covered her mouth. Her eyes filled with fear. The man noticed the beam. He stepped directly into its path. "Careful," he said. "Old structure. Dangerous to move around too much." The hunter's beam stopped. The leader studied him. "Humans are weak," it said. "But you are brave or foolish." "Sometimes both," the man replied. The hunter lowered its weapon slightly. "We will return," it said. "If we find what we seek here, this place will burn." The hunters turned and walked out of the barn. The door closed. Silence returned. The man waited, counted slowly in his head. Only when the footsteps faded did he move. He slid the panel aside. The sisters came out, shaking. "They will come back," the older sister said, "with more." The man nodded. "I know." The younger sister looked at him with wide eyes. "Why did you lie for us?" The man looked around his barn, at the cats, at the old walls. "Because humans don't give up the helpless," he said, "even when it's dangerous." Outside, far above the clouds, the hunter's ship turned back toward the stars. They were already calling for reinforcements, and they had no idea what kind of species they were about to face. The barn did not sleep that night. The man did not sleep either. After the hunters left, he secured the doors and windows, moving slowly and quietly. He knew their kind. They always came back, stronger, louder, more confident. They believed fear was enough to win. He was already planning. The alien sisters sat close together near the back wall. The younger one hugged her knees, watching the man as he worked. The older sister studied him with careful eyes. "You are preparing," she said. "Not running," the man nodded. "Running only works once." He pulled out old tools from a chest, wires, small batteries, rusted metal plates. Nothing advanced. Nothing impressive. The younger sister looked confused. "They have weapons from the stars," she said. "You have this." The man smiled slightly. "Humans make do." Outside, the night grew quiet again. Too quiet. Then the ground shook. A low hum filled the air, deeper and louder than before. Light flashed through the cracks in the barn walls. The hunters had returned. The older sister's breath caught. They brought a ground unit. The man stood straight. Then they expect no resistance. The barn door exploded inward. Wood shattered. Dust filled the air. 4 hunters entered this time. Bigger, heavier armor. Their weapons glowed with energy. One stepped forward. "Human," it said. "You were warned." The man stood in front of the sisters. "You were," he replied calmly. The hunters raised their weapons. That was when the floor collapsed beneath them. The first hunter fell into a hidden pit, crashing. Hard, sparks flew as its armor hit metal spikes below. Another hunter stumbled as wires snapped tight around its legs, pulling it down. The hunters shouted in surprise. Traps. Simple. Old. Effective. The man moved fast. He pulled a lever near the trophies. Simple. Old. Effective. The man moved fast. He pulled a lever near the fast. He pulled a lever near the wall. A metal plate slammed down, blocking the barn's side exit. The cat scattered, safe through a small hidden opening he had made earlier. The younger sister stared in shock. "You planned this," she whispered. "Humans plan," the man said. One hunter fired blindly. The blast hit a support beam. The roof creaked but held. The man grabbed a metal rod and struck the hunter's weapon as it powered up. Sparks burst. The weapon failed. The hunter stumbled back. "You are weak," it growled. "You are nothing." The man stepped forward, eyes steady. "You came into my home," he said. "That was your mistake." The final hunter activated an alarm on its armor. A sharp signal echoed into the sky. The older sister felt fear rise again. "They are calling others," the man nodded. "I know." The trapped hunters struggled. One tried to stand. The man pressed a button. Electric current surged through the metal floor. The hunter froze and collapsed. Armor smoking. Silence followed. The man breathed slowly. He was not proud. He was not angry. He was protecting. The sister stared at him in awe. "You fight like our stories say humans do," the older sister said. "Not with strength, but with will." The man turned to them. "This isn't over." Outside, distant lights appeared in the sky. Many this time. The younger sister's voice shook. "You should let us go. They will destroy everything." The man looked at the barn, at the land, at the sisters. "No," he said. "This is where I draw the line." He picked up a communicator from one of the fallen hunters. Old tech. Still working. He pressed it once. "This is a human," he said clearly. "You crossed into our space." There was a pause. Then a voice answered. "Careful now. Less sure. You are only one." The man smiled. "No," he replied. "I'm not." Far away, other human lights began to move. And for the first time that night, the hunters felt something new. Uncertainty. Asterisk. The sky above the fields no longer belonged to the stars. Lights hovered in the darkness, slow and careful, like predators, waiting for the right moment to strike. The hunters' ships moved in wide circles, silent but watching. They believed time was on their side. They were wrong. Inside the barn, the man stood still, listening to the low hum in the air. He could feel it in his bones. More ships meant more danger. Not just for him, but for the sisters. The older sister stepped closer to him. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were full of fear. "They will not stop," she said. "Their kind never does. If you hand us over, they may leave this place untouched." The younger sister looked at the ground. She already knew the truth of that offer. The man did not answer right away. He walked to the open doorway and looked out at the land. His land. Empty fields. Old fences. A quiet life built over many years that he could walk away. He could say nothing more. No one would blame him. Behind him, the sisters waited. Slowly, the man turned back. "No," he said simply. The younger sister looked up. "Even now?" Especially now, he replied. He raised the communicator again. His voice was steady. This is a human settlement, he said. You are not welcome, a hunter's voice answered, sharp and cold. You protect what is not yours. The man's reply came without hesitation. They asked for help, he said. That makes them mine. Silence followed. Then the sky changed. Small lights appeared on the horizon, one by one. Then more ground vehicles moved through the fields, quiet but fast. Old, modified machines, human-built, reliable. The sisters watched in disbelief. Others are coming, the older one whispered. The barn doors opened behind the man. People stepped inside. Farmers, mechanics, old soldiers. Ordinary humans with tired faces and steady eyes. They carried tools, weapons, and confidence. Not fear. We heard the call, one of them said. What's the problem? The man nodded toward the sky. Aliens want to take 2 kids. That was all he had to say. The humans took positions without orders. They moved like they had done this before. Because they had. Outside, the hunters finally reacted. This has escalated, one of them said. Humans are gathering. Another voice replied, uncertain now. They were not supposed to do this. A larger ship descended, casting a massive shadow over the land. The lead hunter spoke again, louder this time. Human leader, this is your final warning. The man stepped forward into the open field. Lights shone down on him, bright and harsh. He looked small, but he did not feel small. You came for them, he said. You leave without them, the hunter laughed. You will lose everything. The man raised his head. We already decided what we're willing to lose. Behind him, humans stood shoulder to shoulder. The sisters watched from the barn doorway. The younger sister's voice broke. Why do you do this? The man did not look back. Because someone once did it for U.S. The hunter's ship shifted position. Weapons powered up. Human defenses activated in response. Shields, jammers, traps hidden in the land itself. The galaxy watched. For the first time, humans were not hiding. They were not negotiating. They were standing. The hunters hesitated. Their scanners showed something new. Not power. Not numbers. Resolve. The lead hunter lowered its weapon slightly. This will be remembered, it said. So will this, the man replied. Slowly, one by one, the hunter's ships pulled back. The sky grew quiet again when the last light disappeared. The humans relaxed but did not celebrate. The sisters stepped outside. The older sister bowed her head. You have changed everything. The man shook his head. No, we just reminded the universe who we are. Far away, signals spread across the stars. A simple message carried by many species. Humans protect their own, and sometimes they choose you as family. The stars were listening now. Long after the hunter ships left Earth's sky, signals continued to travel across space. Not weapons fire, not threats, just data, records, witness accounts. What happened in a quiet field near a small human town spread faster than anyone expected. On distant worlds, screens lit up. Humans stood against us. They refused surrender. They protected the weak. Many species watched the recordings in silence. Humans were not new to the galaxy. They were known, studied, measured, labeled as emotional, divided, unpredictable. Never considered dangerous on a large scale, until now. Back on Earth, the barn became something else. It was no longer just a place for animals. Humans gathered there, fixing walls, repairing the roof, strengthening doors. No one was told to do it. They just did. That was the human way. The alien sisters watched from a distance. The younger sister sat on a crate, her legs pulled close. She followed every movement with wonder. Humans work together without command, without fear. They protect even when they are tired, she whispered. The older sister nodded. And they expect nothing. The man stood nearby, listening but not interrupting. He watched the sky often, but not with fear. With patience, a small device on the table beeped. A message, not hostile, a request. The man read it slowly. "They want to talk," he said. The sister stiffened. "Who?" the younger one asked. "Others," the man replied. "Not hunters." A projection filled the air. Several alien figures appeared. Different shapes, different colors. Representatives. One spoke first. Its voice was calm, respectful, human. It said, "Your actions have changed many discussions." The man crossed his arms. "Good." The alien paused. "You protected beings marked as valuable resources." "They're not resources," the man said. "They're people." Another alien leaned forward. "That belief is rare." The older sister stepped forward. "You knew what would happen if we were taken," she said. "You did nothing." The aliens lowered their gaze. "We feared the hunters," one admitted. "They were powerful." The man's voice was steady. "So are humans when we decide to be." Silence followed. Finally, the lead alien spoke again. "We wish to offer sanctuary. For the sisters. And recognition. For your species." The younger sister looked up. "Sanctuary where?" "Among the stars," the alien replied, "with protection." The man turned to the sisters. "Your choice." The older sister looked at the barn, at the people, at the pangu, cats sleeping in the warm hay. "We are safe here," she said. The alien seemed surprised. "You would refuse galactic protection?" The younger sister smiled softly. "We already have it." The projection faded. Days passed. More messages arrived. Trade offers. Alliance talks. Careful words from species that once ignored humans. The galaxy was learning. Humans did not rule with fear. They ruled with loyalty. One night, the man sat outside the barn with the sisters. The sky was clear, peaceful. "Why do they fear you now?" the younger sister asked. The man thought for a moment. "Because we don't walk away," he said. "And because we choose our family." Far away, in council chambers and star stations, a new phrase began to spread. Do not threaten those under human protection. It was not a warning. It was advice. And the galaxy listened. Asterisk. The barn no longer felt like the edge of town. It felt like the center of something important. Morning light touched the field softly as humans moved about their day. Repairs were finished. The roof no longer leaked. Fresh wood replaced broken boards. The barn stood strong, simple, and alive. Inside, the alien sisters helped where they could. The younger sister brushed straw from the floor, laughing when a cat chased her shadow. The older sister learned how humans fixed things, how they shared tools without asking, how they spoke in quiet trust. They were no longer hiding. The man watched them from the doorway. For the first time in many years, the barn felt full. One afternoon, a human child from the town came by with her mother. The child stopped when she saw the sisters. "Are they visitors?" she asked. The mother tensed. The man nodded. "They're family." The child smiled and waved. The sisters waved back. No fear, no shouting, no running. That moment stayed with them. At night, the sisters sat outside under the stars. Earth's sky looked different from their home world. Brighter, closer. "We thought humans were dangerous," the younger sister said quietly. "We were taught to fear you." The man sat beside them. "Fear spreads faster than truth." The older sister nodded. "But truth lasts longer." She looked at him. "You could have turned us away. Many would have." The man looked at the barn, at the lights inside, at the land. "I once needed a place to stay," he said. Someone opened a door. I never forgot that. The sisters understood. Days turned into weeks. News continued to travel across the galaxy. Some species sent observers. They watched quietly from orbit. They did not land. They did not interfere. They watched humans live. They watched humans protect. They watched humans welcome two strangers as their own. One evening, a final message arrived from the stars. It was not a demand. It was not an offer. It was an apology. The older sister read it slowly. They admit they were wrong, she said. About us. About you. The man shrugged lightly. Apologies are a start. The sisters chose to stay. They learned Earth ways. They learned human words. They learned laughter. The barn became a symbol. Other lost beings came. Not hunters, not enemies. Refugees. Broken souls from broken worlds. Humans did not ask where they came from. They asked one question: do you need help? And the answer was always enough. Far across the galaxy, the hunter's name faded. Their power weakened. No one trusted them anymore, but the name human changed. It no longer meant chaos. It meant shelter on a quiet night. The younger sister stood at the barn door, looking at the stars. Will they ever stop being afraid of you? She asked. The man smiled softly. Maybe, he said. But fear isn't the worst thing. She looked at him, confused. Being forgotten is. She nodded slowly. The stars shone brighter that night, and somewhere, in many different languages, the same message spread. If you are lost, find a human. If you are hunted, stand with a human. If you ask for shelter, a human will not turn you away. The barn doors stayed open. They always would.